Hi everyone, in this video I will be showing you the easiest Munros for beginners. If you've only done a few Munros or you're still deciding on which Munro to choose as your first, then this video is perfect for you. The Munros I have chosen are a combination of the shortest and least taxing Munros on your body, and also closest to all the Scottish cities. Stay till the end of the video where I've made a list which will tell you which Munros are best to do depending on where you live, and I have a map showing you where each Munro is. And the first Munro we will be covering is Mount Cairn. Mount Cairn is the most easternly Munro, so if you're in Aberdeen, Dundee or on the east coast of Scotland, this will definitely be one of the best Munros for you to start off. And the start location is in the Invermark car park. Most of the walk in Mount Cairn is the walk into the bottom of the Munro, and you do have to cross a few streams to get there. But eventually, once you've walked far enough, you will get to the Queen's Well, and after the Queen's Well, that's when you start your ascent up the mountain. The total distance of the walk is 17.5 kilometres, and as I said before, most of that is just the walk in to the base of the Munro. This Munro will typically take you 5 to 7 hours, and it does have an ascent of 810 metres. And right now you can see some footage of the Queen's Well. And this is where Queen Victoria's horse drunk out the well, and I do explain everything in my actual Mount Cairn video, so if you want to go and look on that, I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll leave a link in the description to every single Munro in this video. And the house you can see just now was called the halfway house, and that is because you're halfway to the top. And at this point you can see the peak in the distance. That is the top of Mount Cairn. And I'm now showing you just some of the views you get near the top of Mount Cairn. Make sure you stay till the end of the video so you can see every single Munro, and then you can decide which one is the best for you essentially. Because if you live in a Scottish city, the map at the end will tell you exactly which Munros you should do depending on your location. And right now, this is the boulder part at the top of Mount Cairn, and here are some of the views. So to wrap up, this is a very easy Munro to do. It was my second Munro I did after Ben Nevis, and I did Ben Nevis when I was younger, so it was basically my first Munro from when I started bagging the Munros. But now we will move on to the second Munro, which is Ben Lomond. So as you can see on the map, Ben Lomond is obviously perfect for someone who's from Glasgow, and it will take around 4.5 to 5.5 hours to complete. The total distance is 12 kilometres. There are also two routes up the Munro, the right hand route and the left hand route. The left hand route is much more steeper, so if you want a shorter route but steeper route, you take the left hand route. But if you want a more gradual incline and decline, you take the right hand side route. The start location for this Munro is at the Rowan car park, and it is a paying display, but it does get very busy in the summer, so make sure you are there relatively early. There is a lot of spaces, but they do fill up very fast, and they will turn you away if it gets too busy. But on this video you can see just now, we decided to take the left hand route, so we decided to take the steeper route up and then the more gradual route on the way down. But at the start you're just weaving in and out of these bushes until you get to a much more open area. So the ascent for this Munro is 990 metres, where the Munro itself is only 974 metres, so it does mean when you are going up you do have to come down some little bits when you're closer to the top, so it will increase the total to 990 metres. But if your fitness isn't great, I do recommend taking the more gradual route up the Munro. But if you do take the steeper route, like I have done in this video, the views are much better from this side because you see the full bit of Loch Lomond. In the footage just now you can see the top of the Munro is in the clouds, but you can see that gradual bit on the right hand side. If you rewind the video, there's a gradual bit on the right hand side, and that's the slow incline you'll take when you're going up. But taking this route, I feel like the rock formations are really cool, and it does feel like you're in like a Lord of the Rings or a Game of Thrones maybe, going through this part of the path in the rocks. And when I climbed this Munro, it took me 2 hours and 22 minutes to get to the top. And if you are wanting more information on this video, I will leave a link in the description to this video if you do want to learn more and see if you want to do it. But make sure you do stay till the end so you can see all the Munros that are best for your location. And I'll now move on to the third Munro, which is actually two of them, which is Mayar and Driesh. And these two are definitely one of my favourite Munros I've ever done. The Mayar and Driesh Munros are probably the best duo Munros you can ever do. They are pretty easy to do, and the scenery there is absolutely beautiful. So you'll eventually walk in on the right hand side and you'll get to Cairn Gorm, and when you open up into that section, which you'll see later on the video, is absolutely stunning. But the start location for this Munro is Glen Dull Car Park, and the Munros, it'll take you 4.5 to 5.5 hours. So you do have about a 45-minute walk in to get to Cairn Gorm before you start actually climbing the two Munros. And this is the footage we're coming to just now. You'll see Cairn Gorm. So this is Cairn Gorm, and as you can see, it's absolutely stunning. But yeah, the total walk as well is 14.5 kilometres. And the heights of the two Munros are very similar at 928 metres and 947 metres. And Mayar is the first Munro you come to, and then you come down again, walk over the plateau, and then go and do Driesh, and then you'll come down a separate route on the way back. And there are some really nice waterfalls when you're walking up the Cairn Gorm. So you are now seeing footage at the top of Mayar, and this is some of the views you get from the very top. So in the distance on the right hand side, that's Driesh, and you can see it's not very far at all from Mayar, so it only takes another 45 minutes to get from the top of one to the other. And the ascent's not that bad, so once you really get up to the top of Cairn Gorm, then you've done most of the hard work. And now you can see this is the top of Driesh, and it's taken us 3 hours to get here. And if you are looking for more information, as per the other two, I will leave a link in the description if you want to find out more information on the Munros. And I'll now speak to you about my fourth Munro, which is Cairn Gorm. And Cairn Gorm is one of the tallest Munros in my list, standing at 1,245 metres. And it is commonly done with Ben Chonzie, but for the sake of this video, we'll just time the route as if it was just doing Cairn Gorm. Because on the Walk Highlands website, they have it going round in a loop, just like the start of this one. And the reason why Cairn Gorm is 1,245 metres, but the ascent is only 775 metres, is because the start location is at the Cairn Gorm's ski centre, and that starts at 660 metres high. And the scenery on this one is really nice because there is quite a few waterfalls and rivers you have to cross over to get to the top. You do have a choice of just going straight up by the cafe and straight to the top and back down, but the views are much worse if you do that. If you do the loop, like you'll see in this video, it is much nicer views and definitely a better day out. So the ridge that you see in front of me just now, that's the ridge that you go over to do Cairn Gorm. But if you are planning on doing Ben Chonzie as well, you just keep going straight and you'll see it, you can't miss it. It's the second tallest Munro in Scotland. If you're enjoying the video so far, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, because it really helps me out. Thanks. This is footage of me now just up on the ridge, and in the distance you can see Cairn Gorm. And as you can see by the footage in the background, the views were absolutely gorgeous. But this walk is only 11 kilometres and it will take you around 5 to 6 hours, and here are some of the views you get from the top. And again, link is in the description if you want to see more information on this Munro. We are now moving on to the Munro Ben Wyvis. And this Munro is perfect for anyone that lives in Inverness because it's just 30 minutes north of Inverness. The height of this Munro is 1,046 metres and it is a total distance of 11 kilometres. The first third of the walk is a very gradual incline to the base of the Munro, and then it is a very steep incline going up, so make sure you are taking plenty of breaks as you're going up. And then the last third of the walk is a long walk along the ridge, which gets very windy at times. But the start location for this walk is the Ben Wyvis car park. The gradual walking is really nice because there's plenty of rivers and forest to walk through before you get to the bottom of the Munro, but it is just teasing you a little because it is gonna get hard as soon as you start climbing the Munro, because like I said, it is one of the steepest Munros out of this list of Munros. So the tip that you can see just now is the top of the first part of the ridge. So once you get to the top of that bit, you're basically done all the ascending you need to do, and you just need to walk along the ridge. But it is quite misleading because it is quite far away still. Even though it looks relatively close, it is a long walk up to the top. When I climbed it, I had 50 mph winds, so it is the windiest day I've had. I don't know if it was just the location or the day in particular was really windy. But as you can see opposite there as well, that's a mountain called Little Wyvis. But as you can see from the footage just now, it is very steep to get to the top of this Munro. But the views going up it are absolutely stunning. And there is a bunker at the top of the first Munro, so if you are wanting to eat some lunch or something, if it is windy and you want some food, I would definitely recommend sitting in there and eating it before you go over, because like I said, it is very, very windy and it does get really cold. But I do explain this all in my Ben Wyvis video that I will link in the description. But you can see now the footage from us walking along the ridge of Ben Wyvis, and it does take around 45 minutes to get to the tip and then 45 minutes to get back, so you are walking along the ridge for roughly an hour and a half. But unfortunately it was very cloudy on the day I filmed it, so you don't get to see any views from the top. So if you do go, send me some of your pictures from the top. And that'll bring me on to my next Munro, which is Ben Vorlich. And Ben Vorlich can typically be done with Stuk a Croin, but for this video we're just singly doing Ben Vorlich. The start location for this Munro is Ard Vorlich at Loch Earn, and it will take you roughly 4 to 5 hours, but if you are wanting to add on Stuk a Croin, it will take you roughly 6 to 7 hours, and if you are going up Stuk a Croin, you will have to do a little bit of scrambling. So if you haven't done any Munros, it would be best just to do Ben Vorlich, but it will take a total time of 4 to 5 hours, and it's a distance of 8.8 kilometers if you just do Ben Vorlich. And Ben Vorlich is a gradual ascent up the whole Munro, so if you aren't good at sharp inclines and stuff like that, Ben Vorlich might be a very good Munro for you to do. And as most of the Munros are, it is a really nice walk because there are lots of rivers and bushes and trees and stuff you have to go through to get there, so it is very nice to look at. And the height of this Munro is 985 metres, with a total ascent of 866 metres, so it is roughly similar to quite a lot of the other Munros, but like I said, it is the most gradual incline to the top out of all of them on this list. But unfortunately on this one it was quite cloudy at the top, so you won't get to see the good views from the top. So as well as the other one, send me a photo from the top if you do get a chance, because I didn't get to see the views myself. But there is a trig point when you come up straight away, but I don't think that's the top. I think you need to keep walking along the ridge to actually get to the top of Ben Vorlich. But I do explain that in my Ben Vorlich video, so the link is in the description. But the map at the end will tell you which Munro is best for you, so make sure you stay to the end so you know which one is the best. And it did take an hour and 48 minutes for me to get to the top of Ben Vorlich. And as you can see, the views were stunning. But I'm now moving on to the next Munros, which is the Cairnwell Three. And this is the easiest triplet of Munros that you'll get in the whole of Scotland, because it'll take you 5 to 6 hours to complete them all, with a total ascent of only 595 metres. So this is the easiest 3 in the bag you'll ever get. And the start location is the Glen Shee Ski Centre, and the time will take was 5 to 6 hours. The time on the corner of the screen that you can see now, that was because we did 9 of the Glen Shee Munros in one day, so these were our last 3 Munros to do. But the total distance of this walk is 13 kilometers, and we did get an absolute scorcher of the day. So there is a lake just up ahead, so if you do also get a really hot day, you can jump in the lake, but we were far too tired to go and do that. But the Cairnwell 3 should definitely be up on your to-do list because you do get 3 Munros in one day with little effort. Well, I say little effort, it is still hard work doing a Munro, but it definitely is on the easier scale of Munros compared to some of the other Munros that are out there. But when you get a lovely day, you can literally see for miles, which is always really nice. But here you can see some footage of us at the top of the second Munro, and the first to second Munro is definitely the furthest distance, and it does take a long time. As you can see from that video, we were absolutely exhausted, so it was a big accomplishment to get to the top of that one. And the Munro you can see in the middle in the distance there, that is the next Munro that you have to do, and that is the third one, and to complete all 3 of them. And that one is called the Cairnwell. But in theory, once you get to the top of the second one, you've done most of the hard work. You've just got to do the slog back to, well, up to the Cairnwell and then back to the car park. But once you get to the top of the second one, it is much easier. And if you are really lucky, the chairlift will be operating at the top of the Cairnwell. We were unfortunate and lucky enough, but the chairlift does operate like quite frequently, so you will be able to get a lift down if you are really tired. But you have got to get lucky and hope the chairlift is on. But it took us 11 hours and 40 minutes to get to the top of the 9th Munro when we did our Glenshee 9, but hopefully it should only take you 5.5 to 6 hours to complete. But as per the other videos, the link is in the description for more information on the video. And it now brings me on to the next Munro, which is the 8th Munro in the beginners Munros that I've made, and that is Schiehallion. Schiehallion is slap bang in the middle of Scotland, and we will start at the Braes of Foss car park. This Munro is also a short one at 10 kilometres because you are starting your ascent as soon as you are out the car park. Well, you do have to walk about a kilometre in first before you start your proper ascent, but I would say along with Ben Vorlich, this is one of the most gradual ascents of the Munros that you will get. And at the top of Schiehallion there is quite a big boulder field, but I do go and explain that and show a lot of footage of the boulder field in the video in the link in the description. But you are only ascending 731 metres because you are starting quite high up, and it will only take you roughly 4 to 6 hours to complete. But as you can see in the footage, just off into the distance there, that is Schiehallion. It is covered by the clouds just now. And Schiehallion has had quite a lot of work done to it, paths wise, so as you can see, the paths are very good going up to the top of Schiehallion. But I would say Schiehallion is one of the more boring looking Munros. It's obviously got stunning views from the top, but as you're walking up, there isn't as much like shrubbery and greenery and like waterfalls as compared to some of the other Munros that are on the list. But one thing it does have is very good paths. So if you're looking for a really good path, Schiehallion is definitely the Munro for you. But that is until you get near the top, when it does start to turn into a boulder field. And you can see that in some of the footage you're seeing just now. Maybe by the end of 2022 they'll have the full path finished. Also, I've almost been non-stop speaking for 20 minutes. I think that's the most I've been speaking in any video I've ever published on this channel. And I have put in a lot of effort in creating this video, and I would like it to get out to people that are just starting to pick their first Munros and stuff, because I feel like it would help them out a lot and encourage them to do more of the easier ones, which will hopefully help them do more of the more experienced Munros further down the line. So if you can, please like this video because it will help me out with the algorithm a lot. Thank you. And I think Schiehallion is definitely one of the most popular Munros. After Ben Nevis and Ben Lomond, Schiehallion is definitely next, or one of the next Munros for how busy it is, because it is, like I said, it is quite an easy one because it is very gradual, so quite a lot of people choose this Munro to climb. But it did take me 1 hour and 52 minutes to get to the top of this Munro. And like the other ones, link is in the description for more information. And there is a cute little cairn at the top of this Munro. So now we get on to the 9th and final beginner friendly Munro, and that is Ben Chonzie. And yes, if you don't know, the C is silent. I was surprised the first time hearing it as well, but it is pronounced Ben Chonzie. So the start location for this Munro is the Schiehallion track at Glen Lednock. This Munro will take you 4 to 5 hours and it is a distance of 12.5 kilometres. You do have to walk about 1.5 kilometres, 2 kilometres in before you do start your ascent to Ben Chonzie. And when I climbed this one, I wanted to try and see how fast I could do this, so it was definitely, this one for me was more of a workout than an enjoyable walk. So yeah, we were going full pelt just to see how fast we could actually do this one, but it would take normally 4 to 5 hours to get to the top. And yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend trying to go up them fast or anything like that, just because you do miss the enjoyment out of it, and it just turns into like a gym workout rather than a nice peaceful relaxing day in the countryside. But unlike the other ones, yeah, Ben Chonzie doesn't have as much like forest and rivers to cross as the rest of them. It is more like a Land Rover track most of the way up the Munro. And it is only 712 metres ascent, and I can't wait till we get to the end of the video so I can show you the template map which will tell you the best Munros to do nearest you. And oh look, I did lie to you, there is a waterfall halfway up. But once you get up the main ascent of Ben Chonzie, you do have to walk along a plateau roughly half an hour's worth. But once you reach the top of the ascent, the views are really good. So off to your right in the distance, that is the top of Ben Chonzie, so you do just have to walk along the top of this little plateau bit to get to the top. So as soon as you finish the first ascent, you can take a little 5-minute breather, and then you've got an easy walk up to the top of Ben Chonzie. So as you can see off into the distance, it is very flat walk all the way to the top. And we did have a clearish day, so you will get to see the views from the top, and they were pretty good, so we were happy with them. And as you can see, it was quite busy at the top, but it did take us 1 hour and 24 minutes to get to the top. It definitely won't take you that long unless you are sprinting like we were, but it should take you around 2 to 3 hours to get to the top. And it's now time to get into the map template I've been raving on about so much. So the map does show which Munros are best for you to do, that'll be within 1.5 hours of the city that you live in. So as you can see, the orange lines are for Glasgow, and they are Ben Lomond, Ben Vorlich and Ben Chonzie. It'll just take 1 hour, 1 hour and 30 minutes and 1 hour and 15 minutes respectively, so they are all very close to you. Then the green lines are for Edinburgh. They are the exact same 3 Munros, and they will take 1 hour and 45 minutes for Ben Lomond and Ben Vorlich, and 1 hour and 30 for Ben Chonzie. Dundee has the pick of most of the Munros, and there's 6 Munros, all of which you'll get there in under 1.5 hours, with Mayar and Driesh and Cairnwell Three being the closest Munros. The yellow lines are for Aberdeen, and they are Mount Keane and Mayar and Driesh, which will take 1 hour and 20 minutes and 1 hour and 30 minutes respectively. And the red lines are for Inverness, where you can do Ben Wyvis or Cairn Gorm, which will take 1 hour or 40 minutes. So I will zoom out and show you them all again. So if you do live in one of these cities, it was quite obvious which Munros you should do if you haven't done any of them that I've listed. And if you have a friend or something that hasn't been up any Munros and you live in one of these cities or around one of these cities, then you can show them this video and show them which Munros they should be doing for their first Munros. And I'll see you in the next one.